Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jeff Freitas, and I am the president of CFT, and I'd like to welcome you to another CFT Up Front broadcast. Today, we got some very good news to report. In a moment, we'll talk about the historic $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan, which President Biden signed into law this week. But first, I'd like to get some good news on vaccines for educators and school staff. On Monday, Governor Newsom announced that the state had nearly tripled its goal of vaccinating 75,000 teachers, school staff, and childcare workers per week, and had, in fact, vaccinated 210,000 education workers just last week. In making the announcement, Governor Newsom said, I quote, "This is welcome news for teachers, students, and parents as more and more schools reopen safely across the state. We will continue working with our local partners to accelerate this effort in communities across the state so that all school staff have access to a vaccine within weeks." Unquote. The good news comes on the heels of the governor's following through on his commitment to set aside 10% of all vaccine supply for school workers K-12 and childcare environment. However, all educators and classified from early childhood through the higher ed system are eligible when their counties are in Tier 1B. We encourage all CFT members and all community members, in fact, to get a vaccine shot as soon as one is available to you, along with reducing community spread and multi-layered mitigation strategies, and it's an essential element of returning to in-person instruction, which is what we've all been looking forward to. Most of you will be able to access your appointments through a single-use access code that your local school district is providing to its employees. Others can get appointments at the mass vaccination sites at stadiums and public spaces across the state, or a local pharmacy, or through your healthcare provider. But however you get it, the question is, have you gotten your shot? Do you have an appointment lined up to get your shot? Are you waiting for your second shot, in fact? So you can please take a moment to use our own CFT's new vaccine Facebook frames. I believe you can use these on Twitter as well. And share a photo online by tagging us on Facebook and Twitter at CFT Union. We'll place vaccine photos on our Facebook photo album as well. And keep getting your shots. It's so important to reduce and eliminate this horrible virus in our communities in our state. Now on to other incredible news on the federal stimulus plan. Yesterday, President Joe Biden signed the nearly $2 trillion American Rescue Plan into law. The package, one of the most significant pieces of legislation in decades, provides $1,400 in stimulus checks to individuals and families, increases unemployment benefits through September, and provides $350 billion in state and local aid. The package also sets aside $14 billion for vaccine distribution efforts across the country. In fact, the president asked that we open up all vaccines by May 1st because he believes we're going to have enough for everyone to start getting vaccinated. The plan also provides for major investments in public education, including $170 billion for K-12 schools and $40 billion for higher education. Specifically here in California, we will see $20 billion of these education dollars, $15 billion going to our K-12 schools and $5 billion going to our institutions of higher education. And it's resources that we need to make sure that we can provide the safe environment to be in person. The American Rescue Plan is widely popular with Americans, with 75% supporting the plan. Despite that fact, the bill was passed out of Congress without a single Republican congressperson or senator voting for the bill, which is unfortunate because 75% of America supports it. The American Rescue Plan is a seminal moment in our recovery from COVID-19 and will go a long way to ensure that everyday people can recover from the pandemic, not just the very wealthy. And in days to come, we will have more conversation about that. So I'd like to once again thank everyone who volunteered in the November election and specifically in the Georgia runoff, because it is those efforts, your efforts, and the efforts of our fellow volunteers from throughout the nation that the American Rescue Plan was even possible. It is a reminder that our political action is essential in order to secure the resources and support our schools and our communities need. That's the end of my report today. I want to thank you again for sharing your time with me in watching this video and listening to this video. And I want to ask you to please take care of yourself, take care of those around you, and have a great weekend. Good night.